In the luminous cradle of Ionia, surrounded by olive groves and crowned by marble, stood Ephesus, one of the greatest cities of the ancient world. It was a jewel of civilization, a city of learning, commerce, and divine reverence. Travelers from across the Aegean came to marvel at its crown jewel, the Temple of Artemis. One of the seven wonders of the world, it rose from the earth like a forest of stone, each column carved with prayers, legends, and celestial visions. But in the summer of 356 BCE, the breath of the gods seemed to vanish. It began not with an earthquake or a war, but a dream. Thaleia, high priestess of the Temple of Artemis, was known for her composure and clarity. She was not prone to visions, nor given to dramatic signs. Yet one night, she awoke gasping, sweat slick on her skin, her pulse echoing like war drums. In her dream, the temple cracked open like an egg. Black birds spiraled above in a sky streaked red with fire, and from the statue of Artemis, a sacred relic carved from a single meteorite, came a soundless scream that shattered the heavens. When she opened her eyes, she tasted salt in her mouth. Not the salt of sweat or tears, but the distinct taste of sea brine. But her chambers were dry. The sea was miles away. At first, she told no one. She lit extra incense, whispered longer prayers. But in the following days, others came forward with strange reports. Every child born within the city walls that week died silently within hours. No birds gathered at the temple fountain, a place they once flocked to in the dozens. And when the dawn came, it was quiet, unnaturally quiet. No footsteps in the marketplace, no creak of carts, no gulls from the harbor. Ephesus had gone still. The priestess, growing uneasy, broke sacred tradition. She left the sanctuary of the temple, something she had not done in years, and journeyed barefoot into the hills, beyond the vineyards and shrines, to seek the counsel of a forgotten oracle. Lysandros, a seer who lived alone in a crumbling stone house, was said to speak the language of smoke and shadow. Blind in one eye, his face creased like ancient parchment, he welcomed Thaleia without question. She recounted her dream in detail, her voice trembling for the first time in decades. He listened. Then he turned to the east, where the sun would rise, and said only 3 words, "The gods are silent." Thaleia felt a chill settle deep in her bones. She asked what it meant, but Lysandros had already closed his eyes and drifted into sleep or something like it. Back in Ephesus, the silence deepened. Ritual sacrifices were doubled. Sacred processions filled the streets. Children were bathed in river water. Yet Artemis gave no sign. Her flame burned low on the altar, not out but dimmed as if retreating. One evening, as dusk bled into night, a small earthquake rattled the city. It did no damage, but the temple's central brazier extinguished itself. When relit, it sputtered violently, sending sparks that etched strange, swirling patterns on the stone. Then came the first true crack. A merchant ship, the Calcho's Star, was due from Delos with sacred offerings. It never arrived. The harbor watch reported seeing it approach the bay, but as the mist rolled in, the ship simply vanished, sails, crew, and all. No wreckage was ever found. Within days, panic gripped the city. People spoke in hushed tones of curses, divine judgment, or worse, abandonment. The idea that Artemis, protector of the city, had turned her gaze away was more terrifying than any foreign invasion. Then, in the heart of this fear, a new project was born. Demetrios, a young sculptor known for his meticulous craftsmanship, had been selected months earlier to carve a new statue of Artemis. It was meant to be unveiled during the annual solstice festival, an offering to please the goddess. With mounting fear in the air, Thaleia ordered that the work be completed ahead of schedule. Perhaps, she thought, this statue would rekindle the divine connection. Demetrios worked in complete isolation. He ate little, spoke less. Neighbors said strange sounds came from his workshop, low chanting, metal scraping stone long after midnight. Some even claimed they saw flickering blue light from under his door. Then, one night, a scream tore through the silence. The townsfolk burst into Demetrios' home to find him collapsed, his body curled like a frightened child. When he regained his senses, he uttered only one phrase. The statue looked at me. At first, no one believed him. Statues, by their nature, do not look. But when Thaleia arrived and stepped into the sculptor's workshop, the air changed. The room was thick with the smell of ash and oil. Dust hung motionless, as if the space held its breath. And there she saw it. The statue was magnificent, flawless in symmetry, polished to a luminous sheen. Yet something was deeply wrong. Artemis's eyes, typically sculpted to look upward or down in humility, stared directly ahead. Not lifelessly, but with intent. Her gaze followed you as you moved. It felt invasive, personal. Thaleia, normally composed, stumbled back. She ordered the statue removed from the temple plans immediately. But that same night, a great column in the temple split in half and toppled, the crash echoing through the valley like thunder. No tremor, no storm, just stone breaking unprovoked. Madness followed. A philosopher began screaming in tongues in the middle of a public debate. A priestess walked into the sea and never returned. Children claimed to hear footsteps in the empty sanctuary at night. The city was unraveling. And then, as if summoned by fate, news arrived from the distant city of Pella. A child had been born. His name? Alexander, son of Philip of Macedon. The very night Artemis's column fell, the boy who had conquered the known world had drawn his first breath. Coincidence? Historians might say so. But in Ephesus, the people whispered something else, a divine transition. A new force had entered the world. The old gods, perhaps all of them, were leaving. In the weeks that followed, the temple was closed for purification. The statue vanished, removed by night under guard. No one knew where it was taken. Some claimed it was buried beneath the olive groves. Others said it was thrown into the sea. But Thaleia knew better. She had seen something in the statue's gaze, an intelligence that had no place in marble. Something ancient and watching. In her final days, she ceased performing rites. She took to walking the empty halls of the temple at night, pausing before broken columns and whispering names no one else recognized. Then, one dawn, she vanished. Her robes were found folded on the altar. A single olive branch rested atop them. There was no note, no message, only silence. Demetrios, too, disappeared. His home was left untouched, tools still arranged by the hearth. But in the courtyard, etched into the stone floor, were markings, strange, circular symbols with no known origin. They were not Greek, not Lydian, not known to any scholar of the time. Some say they were not written for humans to read. Years passed. The city recovered. The temple was restored, though never fully completed again. The fires were relit. The chants returned. But something in Ephesus had changed. The people no longer made eye contact with statues. Children were taught never to speak the name of Artemis after sunset. And the column that had cracked? It was never rebuilt. Even today, the ruins of Ephesus remain. Tourists wander the marble roads. They marvel at the library facade. They stand in the shadow of the great theater. But if you walk past the remnants of the Temple of Artemis at dusk, when the wind dies and the last bird falls silent, some say you can still feel it. The hush, the gaze, the breathless silence of gods who once watched and may still be watching. From beyond the veil. If this story of ancient Ephesus stirred your curiosity, there's more where that came from. History is filled with forgotten whispers and chilling truths, and we're only just beginning to uncover them. So if you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to never miss another tale from the shadows of time. And tell me in the comments, what ancient mystery should we explore next? Until then, stay curious. The past is never truly dead. It's just waiting to be heard.